Obviously, y'all have noticed Pastor Chet's not going to be here this morning. He texted me yesterday. Sorry if I'm a little nervous. He texted me yesterday and said he was still sick and asked if I would mind filling in preaching for him. And at first I started to type out no. And then, well, he said, you think you can handle it or should I get somebody else? And I was thinking, man, call Ken, call Buddy, Chris, somebody. Like, why me? Chris was like, what? Come on, man. No. But anyways, I started to say no, but then like God was like, hold up, I got you. And I was like, all right, you're right, you got me. So I was like, yeah, I think we can handle it. That being said, normally he gives me like a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I had 24 hours, so I don't have a whole lot of notes. Actually, I left my Bible up there, so hang on a second. Yeah, I know, right? Thank you. Bible. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. Normally I use my phone, but I figured I'd use this thing. Y'all ever seen one of these? Well, first, actually, while I got the opportunity, I'm going to embarrass my wife. It's our anniversary today. So everybody look at her till she turns red. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, babe. But yeah, so 1 year ago today we got married. 364 and a half days of her putting up with me. But no, it's been good. It's been a crazy fast year. We went like straight into like sports mode with Tyler, and Kaylee's got stuff she's doing, and like it's awesome though. I'm blessed to have them. I said I wasn't gonna cry, but I'm blessed to have them. Oh man. Yeah, I know, right? Anyways, yeah, this year has been a blur, but like I said, nothing short of blessings. We got moved into a new house, and it's just been awesome. So glory to God for that. Why am I crying? All right. Anyways, I'm gonna get into this real quick. So before I just like get up here and start rambling, I want to start off in Exodus 17. God just kind of brought something to my mind, and I don't know. This probably won't be very long. I don't know. I'm not a long-winded preacher, but I just want to say what he wants me to say and then get out of the way. Not ramble too much, So Exodus 17, this might be a familiar passage. If you go to the end of the chapter, let's see. I guess we can go I don't know where to start. I'm just going to start at verse 8. So they're going to war, going to battle with the Amaleks. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose out men. I'm in verse 9. I'm going to work my way down to where I really want to read. Moses said unto Joshua, choose out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and he fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy. They took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, basically held up his hands for him. The one on the one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the years of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have a war with Amalek from generation to generation. Basically, what kind of stood out to me in this is like, while the battle was going on, he was supposed to raise his hands, and he kind of got a little weary there. Sometimes we get weary in the battle. Is anybody fighting a battle right now? Is anybody getting weary from this battle? Well, what I want to say, is it's important to have people around you to help you hold your hands up. We can't do this alone. That's why it's important to stay in a body like this. That's why they say do not forsake the assembly, because we need each other. We need each other to encourage each other, to just sometimes when life gets heavy, starts weighing us down, and we just can't lift our hands. We need brothers and sisters to come alongside us and help us. And so another thing I got from this is that, while the battle is going on, he's praising. The hands lifted, that's a sign of praise. So if you're in a battle right now, just keep praising through it. And if you feel like your hands are getting tired and you want to just give up, just don't be prideful. Don't be stubborn, talk to somebody. Find somebody, like I said, a brother or sister, somebody to come alongside you and to help hold your hands up and hold you accountable, but also kind of build you up and help you get back on the right track. So yeah, that's just something that I really thought was interesting about that. And actually, Jehovah Nissi, I was looking that up. That actually means the Lord is a banner. And so basically, while they were fighting, they had the banner of the Lord with them. They were claiming whose they were. So it's important also that we know whose we are and who we are, right? We sometimes we put on, we got jobs we got to do, we got things we got to do, but sometimes we wear that as our banner. Yeah, I'm a tradesman, I'm a plumber, electrician, whatever. I'm a vet, I'm a doctor, and you wave that banner, But we first and foremost are God's, and so we should be waving His banner and be going to war with His banner. So basically, that's all I had out of the Exodus there. I want to jump to the New Testament, though, and just with that same thing in mind, just remembering, we need each other. We need each other to hold us up. We need each other to kind of hold our arms up in the battle. And again, just like stay assembled, because, the devil likes to isolate us. Once he can get us away and get us alone, that's when the enemy really gets in and just can separate you. We sometimes stumble and fall and we want to stay away. We want to just I got to get it together before I step in that building. I can't come here with all my mess, but you can. He wants you to be here. You're welcome here, and you find people here that can kind of help you get through what you're going through. When Adam sinned in the garden, he immediately went and hid. That's natural for humans. When you're a little kid, you break a window, you go hide. You do something wrong, you slip up, you want to go hide and sulk in your sorrow. But that's just the enemy trying to isolate you and separate you. If you fall down, get back up. Find somebody to talk to. Find somebody to like I said, confide in, and just get back up and keep going. I'm going to go to, where am I going? Let's go to Galatians. Galatians 6. So again, kind of with that in mind about just being there for one another. Galatians 6, it says, "Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ." So it says to fulfill the law of Christ, so that's a commandment from Christ, to bear one another's burdens and be there for one another. But if you keep reading, this is what kind of got me digging, because it says a few verses later. So if you keep reading, "For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in one another. For every man shall bear his own burden." Didn't it just say we're supposed to bear one another's burdens? So a couple verses later, it says bear his own burden. So I kind of got to digging on that a little bit. And basically what I found is they use two different Greek words there. The same in English, it's a burden, but in those two verses, it's two entirely different words. So in Galatians 2, the burden is baros, and it's a weight that is heavy or crushing. Like they use it in terms of like shipping and transport. So ships, they have to be a certain weight to get through the seas, safely and calmly without getting tossed around. And so sometimes they would shed weight, But this in the verse 2 here where it says bear one another's burdens, it's talking about a heavy, crushing burden. And so sometimes in life things get heavy, and we have to come alongside each other and bear each other's burdens. But in Galatians 6:5, it's ph like portion, I guess. Like it almost looks like portion with the H in it. And it's used to refer to as soldier's pack or standard cargo on a ship by each person in the company or each ship in the fleet. And so there is a standard load, so to speak, that we carry. There's a certain burden that we carry. We're supposed to study. We're supposed to pray. We're supposed to and that's not a heavy crushing burden. That's a burden that we should do and want to do. It's standard procedure, right? We should pray. We should study. We should attend church. We should help others. But if we're taking on too much of one thing, that's when things get a little heavy. That's when things get in and we start sinking a little bit. So those burdens in Galatians 6:5, those burdens are the ones that are just naturally being believers, being people in the Lord, are natural things that we got to do just in our walk. But sometimes we unintentionally get a little overwhelmed. We take on too much. We We get volunteer for the Christmas play when we don't want to. And, so different things like that. We can stretch ourselves out real thin, and then next thing you know, we're just snapping on people. We're just in a bad mood, and we're just full, weighed down with that excruciating, crushing burden. And so that's when you need somebody to come alongside you, help raise your hands, help bear that burden with one another. And so in Matthew, we don't have to go there, but it says, Jesus says to give our burdens to him as well, because his burden is light. It's so we can't keep things in ourselves. We can't keep stuffing stuff. We can't hold on to stuff and just stuff it and then explode. So I just want to encourage everybody just to find somebody that can hold you accountable, find somebody you can talk to, pray with, and just know you're not alone. And just don't forsake the assembly. Don't go hiding if you mess up. You fall down, you get back up. That's what Ken always says. Confess one to another. We believe God's all-knowing until it's about our own sin, right? Like, oh, he don't know I did that. I can go hide, over here and mess around with this. But no, he knows everything. He knows you're going to mess up, and he still died for you on that cross. He knows, he knew Judas was going to betray him, but he still washed his feet. So just remember, he knows everything, even your faults, even your downfalls, and he still loves you anyways. We give him plenty of reasons to give up on us, but not one of them is going to make him give up on us. So I know that was quick, and I talk fast, but that's pretty much all I got. So sorry. If anybody else wants to say something, feel free.